Right, welcome back. This is episode 6. As you can see, engine's on the bench. Today I'll be checking the valve clearances and fitting, hopefully, oh it's in there anyway, fitting the ignition advancer plus 4. Yesterday I've done a bit of paint work, as you saw in the last video. Got all the stuff painted off. This is the reservoir that actually turned out not half bad, so I'm happy with that. Might need a little clean up. So all that kind of stuff has been painted. I'm just going to have to do this one again, because as you can see there must have been a bit of grease or oil on the, I think it was the rag I used to clean. So that will need painting in. I've done these as well. These are the clean air caps that go on top of the engine to circulate the exhaust gas, and I think they burn off and wanted fuel and stuff like that. Unspent fuel. So I've painted them in the engine colour that I'm going for, and I do like it. It's satin like I wanted. Obviously all the front needs doing, so I'm just going to paint the whole engine and the valve cover. These covers here, clutch basket and the stator cover on this side, that's a clutch basket, and then that obviously ignition advancer, the crank cover there. I don't know what colour to go for there. I might go for black. I'm going to have to get 2k for them. I do need a new seal for the valve cover, so it doesn't matter about that. I got a whole new hardware kit. One thing that did happen is the bar for the mount for the bottom radiator that goes here has broken off. Wherever it goes, I think it's like that. So the pin had broken off. It's also it's stuck solid in there. This is aluminium, so it's stuck solid in there, and I've started drilling it out. So there's that. But yeah, these are turning out alright. I've not had a manicure, don't worry about that, it's just paint because I didn't have any gloves on. Deco. So anyway, if you want to continue watching, I'm going to be checking the valve clearances, so enjoy. Right, so all I'm doing now, I've cracked these off slightly, just opening up the cover where all the timing marks are. Tell you what, to stop you from laughing at my nails, I'm going to put these gloves on. Try and make this as quick as possible because it can be a bit boring, but it is one of the essential surface jobs you have to do, so hopefully it's quite informative. It's in your, while the engine is in the bike. As you can see, this is the ignition advancer right here, and this is the pickup for it, and it picks up all these, and this, as it spins round, it picks up and tells when it needs to spark. So that's what that does. To change this, pretty sure you have to lock off the engine and waz that off, put a new one on, but I don't know how to do that just yet. I'm going to I'll try that another time. Right, and now moving on to the top. This will be getting a lick of paint. And here I'm going to reveal the cams. There we go. Safer to one side. There we go. There are all the cams. And obviously, as you know, you're sitting on the bike, you're facing this way towards the engine, so this will be 4, 3, 2, 1 cylinders. But I've got to make sure when you do take the cover off, these either all these come with it or stay on. These are the oils, the gaskets to stop the oil going into the spark area, and you don't want that to happen. So these are the inlets, obviously, because the carbs are there, and the exhaust is this side, and that's where the gases go. And this is your chain, and there's some timing marks. If I can get you, bring you in closer. Right, so here we are. Get you close up on the timing marks, which are here. Let me get my lamp. Where's my lamp gone? So you got one here, where this white mark is. The line there says N, and there's not one on there. Really, you should take this gasket off to get a better view, because it has to line up with the top surface, the mating surface of the this. Can't remember the name. So anyway, what we're going to do is turn the engine clockwise, obviously, to get it to line up. Just find the right size. I believe it's 17mm. Yep. And now I'm going to crank the engine over. It is a lot easier to do this in the frame, really, but to change all the valves clearances would be a lot easier out the engine, but you don't have to. So as you can see now, got the air intake and the exhaust all lined up, maybe a bit more. Oops, sorry. I believe that's right. I'm going to loop down, so that just needs a little more tinker. Tickle of it there. Much better. Right. Right, so what you'll want to do now you've got the cover off top and for the timing, is you need to get, this is relevant for CE and F models, using a socket with spanner, 17mm this is. You want to turn it clockwise, obviously, and you want to time it up with the mating surfaces of the crank casing, which is here. Let's see if we can get a pen, just to, here we go. So you got one here, one here, they're the mating surfaces of the engine, the engine crank cases, and you want to get the cylinder bolt, the cylinder here, this one's marked 1 and 4 on this side. You want to get that line just above the T, which is stroke. You want to get that lined up with that. See if I can bring you a bit closer so you can see. So, so there's a line there, that one just below, just next to the T, under the 4, lined up with the crank cases, mating surfaces. And then this one, see that's 2 and 3 there, that one is lined up with that one as well, so we know they're there. And then if I bring you up here, lift you up, you can see here, now it's timed up. You've got the intake an exhaust cam tied up. It says in there and X down there. I've got white marks on mine, so that should be from factory. So that's that sorted. And what you can start doing then is checking the clearances. Bring you up. Get you in a bit too close to that. There we go. So you need a feeler gauge for this. Make sure it's clean and oiled. You don't put dirt in it. And clean all your feeler gauges up using a nice clean rag. You don't put dry ones in because it's prone to scratching. So what I need to find is the correct ones. And it'll tell you in your online or in the what's-it. Let's have a look then. Oh, in the manual, that is. So with cylinder 1 at top dead centre, you can check 1 intake and exhaust, 2 exhaust and 3 intake, and then you turn it around to get 4 at top dead centre. So you can check cylinder 2 intake valves, cylinder 3 exhaust valves, and cylinder 4 intake and exhaust valves. So to check which one's at which stage, bring you around here. TDC is when the cylinder when the valves, the cams rather, are facing away from each other like so, which is on the compression stroke. So that's the compression stroke. The piston's all the way up. So you're on those two now, so I can check the valve clearances on those two. And if you look in the manual, I'll show you where you need to get the what's it there. So right at the front, this is chapter 1. So what I'm looking for is the valve clearances. So here I've got on my model CE and F, this is intake at 0.15 to 0.24, exhaust 0.22 to 0.31. That's the tolerance between them is perfect. So that's what I'm aiming for. So what am I after? 0.15. So find your appropriate feeler gauge. 0.15. 0.15. I'm going on the intake first, so I'll go from the inside. See, that's on the lower side, so that one fits in. I'm going to go the next size up that I've got, and it goes up to 0.23. So this is 0.20. That's grabbing too much, so that won't fit in. So that's between 0.15 and 0.20. So if I get 0.4, 0.04 and 0.15, squeeze them both together, that's 0.19. Simple math. That won't fit. So I'm after 0.03. 0.15. You should get it really. It's not too hard. Really, you should have brass ones, but end of the day, there we are. what's happening there. There we are, that's in. So 0.18 is a lot more, 0.28. So as you can see, I've got my clearances for the first cylinder. That's that done. I'm not sponsored by WeMotor, this just came with parts I ordered. And now I can move on to cylinder. Hold on a sec. Can go on to cylinders, the exhaust and intake for exhaust in cylinder 2 and then exhaust cylinder 2 and intake on cylinder 3, so I can do all them now. Now I'm just going to, I've done all them, I've found a problem with this cylinder 3 here. I'm just going to turn the engine over clockwise again. Always go clockwise. You want to cylinder 4 top dead centre now. There we go. Alright, so I've turned it top dead centre. As you can see now, the exhaust, the intake and exhaust are at different 180 degrees difference. And now I can try cylinder 4 in and out, and then cylinder 3 out, and then cylinder 2 in. So I'm going to do that now. Right then, so as you can see, I have a very large gap in cylinder 3 on the intake side. Now the tolerances are on the intakes 0.15 to 0.24, so you want to be on the larger side, so that is too large. You want to be on the tighter side, so like 17, that's it, yeah, really. So that needs changing. That one needs changing, really. Then for the exhaust, 0.22 to 0.31. So that one, that one, and that one, and that one, that one, that one, and that one. They're quite... Is it the tighter side you need to be on? The wider side. I'll have to look into that. But they're all, everyone is within tolerance. Those two are pretty close. That one's close. Yeah, 0.28 is close. But you check these every 8,000 miles, so I'm going to be happy with all of them. Maybe change those two if I've got the shims. That one definitely needs changing, 0.32, it needs to be between 0.15 and 0.24. So all you have to do now is take the engine apart. Easier said than done, but it's not bad of a job really. So let's crack on. Right, so now you realise you need to change some of the shims to adjust to get the correct valve clearance settings. What you need to do first, still in time, I haven't moved it. And one thing I should say is to get these 180 degrees out, you have to turn the crank 360 degrees. So anyway, now I don't know if this is the same for C models like the rest of it is, but for E and F models this is kind of the same. So all you need to do is undo the crank, the chain tensioner, which should be, yeah, 12mm. And this has a crush washer on. And if it's damaged or anything, they're easily replaced, so don't worry about that. You can get a new one. And that has a spring in there, as you can see, put to one side, with a little moving bar, whatever you want to call it. So put them together, keep them in the same place. Now you've got that bit off, you want to get an 8mm spanner and take the whole thing out. So as you're removing that, keeping in mind you want to keep the bolts all together. Nice clean area. And this just pops out. It's got a plunger on, as you can see there. Now it does say in the manual you might have to reset it. So you might as well do it now, really. So I'm going off the manual on ZX9R.net. So it's a good bit of information, that is. So before setting CCT aside, cam chain tensioner, you might have, well, manual specifies 5 exposed notches. Just push this little spring activated lever at the top, so that's that bit. Push that, it says, and push the plunger back a few notches to affect this. So you want 5 there. So if I go all the way back, I'm going to click it out 5 times. 1, oh, and gloves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's set now. I'm happy with that. There is a pattern. One thing you do have to make sure, I can bring you in, can you see? There are 2 silver, these are all mainly black, there are 4 silver ones, as to say 4. And they go over the 4th cylinder and the 1st cylinder. The last one's on the 1st cylinder on the inside, and the second to last. So just make sure you put them in the right place. So you want to undo these, quarter of a turn at a time I normally do, and then I always start from the outside, go in. So you got all them pins out. You want to remove this. There's one of the guides. Check the bottom of it. Looks pretty decent to me. Keep that safe to one side. What I'm going to do is I'm keeping all the pins in, so I don't get mixed up anywhere. You don't have to. That's just one thing I would do. Well, there we are. And there are some dowels, one there and one here. That one stays in. Don't have to. I'd take them all out and put them back in so you don't forget or lose them. So they're in, and then that's the intake one out. Put that to one side. Same again for the exhaust. Again, it's got a couple of dowels in that you want to keep in the engine. If I were you, it's up to you. Again, that one stayed in. This one's come out with the caps. It's just something I do. So with there, then the cams, just lift the chain off and you've got to shimmy it out. It's not too hard. To one side, again to one side, and then what you need to do is get something to hold. I did have something out already. There we go. That'll do. Just to keep the weight on, stop the chain from falling all the way down, because you don't want to be fishing that out really. It's a bit of a pain. So I've got them out. Now we've exposed the shim caps, the valve caps. So if you want